If you have an idea worth spreading, if you have an idea that if more people knew about it could change the world, even if it's just in some small way, then you need to be on that stage. Very often the people that come on stage have never spoken before. The most important thing is to have an idea worth spreading. And that idea cannot be work with me. Hello and welcome to the Art of Value Whispering podcast. I'm your host, Melitta Campbell, business coach and value whisperer. And I'm excited that you're here today because I have been a little bit nervous of announcing this before, because you know when something really good happens and you're like, but did I dream that? Is that really happening? What if they say, oh, sorry, we made a mistake? So that's all the thinking that I've been having around getting booked to speak at TEDxSwansea. This has been on my vision board for a long time, and I was just explaining to my clients earlier, we had a timeline therapy session and I was explaining how you can use it to drop a goal in the future, which is what I did probably 2 or 3 years ago. And I said I want to have spoken on the TEDx stage before the end of my 50th year on this planet, which is December, and I'd pretty much given up. But it's happening on the 26th of October. I will be speaking at TEDxSwansea. If you are in the UK and you fancy a day out, do come and join us for the whole day. The tickets are just £22, and there's going to be amazing networking around the event as well. So it's just going to be such an inspiring, empowering, amazing day. So I would love for you to come and join us. So do Google TEDxSwansea if you are in the UK and you want to come and join us. But since I announced that I will be speaking on the stage, and it is real, I didn't make it up or dream it, I've been getting lots of questions from people about how did I get booked on the stage? And I will share how I've done that, but I'll also share advice from my experience as a TEDx speaker coach for 2 different events. Because if you are listening to this and you do have an idea worth spreading, if you have an idea that if more people knew about it could change the world, even if it's just in some small way, then you need to be on that stage. I was quite surprised when I started working with TEDx Lausanne. I'll say working, everyone's a volunteer. So that's something to know about TEDx, is nobody gets paid. The people that make the event happen, it's all on a volunteer basis. So that's something to keep in mind when you're approaching people about TEDx, that they are volunteers. They are giving their time freely. So do be respectful of that. But also, we are looking for those people who have an idea worth spreading, but they aren't necessarily people who have had public speaking experience before. And that was something that really surprised me. At TEDx in Lausanne, for example, we think of the theme, we think of what would make this an amazing event. What kind of ideas do we feel are the ones that will merge and come together? Because you want talks where the ideas between them will spark something new. So you are looking for lots of different people and different styles, something more technical, something more academic, something more personal. So different aspects, different ways of sharing an idea. So that's one thing that we look at. We look at what we want to cover and who is amazing in that space. So there may be someone who's done some really interesting research into a particular idea that we feel inspired by, and we'll invite them to the stage, but we will train them in how to develop that talk, how to deliver the talk, how to feel confident. So not everybody on stage are public speakers, people who are paid for a living to get on stage and speak regularly. Obviously, there is always somebody on the stage who is more of a professional. They do this for their living or as a regular part of their role. But very often the people that come on stage have never spoken before. So it's a complete mix. The most important thing is to have an idea worth spreading. And that idea cannot be work with me. The talks that won't be accepted and definitely won't make it onto the website are talks that are political, talks that are particularly religious, talks that are emotional. So nothing salesy. So you have to be very careful in how you present your idea. Of course, if that's your business, you want people to know this is my business, but you just want to have some small mentions there or some case studies that hint at what you do. You don't want to make the whole talk, a pitch for your business, they don't have a place on the TEDx stage. They're very strict on that. So if you have an idea we're spreading, definitely apply. You don't necessarily know the theme of an event before it's publicized. And once it's publicized, they often already have most of their speakers. So, it's not too late, but you just want to find a quality event and apply to those ones. So if you go to TEDx.com and you start to view some of the videos there, you'll start to see which events have really good quality videos, really good quality speakers, and therefore are going to have a good reputation. So that's something that you can research. So you don't need prior experience. If you do, it helps your application, of course, because you can send a video, here's me speaking, but it's not the critical factor. So once you find your event, it's worth following the event, supporting the event in advance. And this is something that I do with podcasts. I follow the podcast for a while. I listen to it. I get to know the host before I decide, is this the right podcast for me? Can I really add value to them? Am I going to enjoy this experience? Is it a podcast that my audience would enjoy as well, so I can help it to grow? So these are all things I think about before going on a podcast. And you want to think about the same before pitching to a TEDx event as well. So you can do a lot of research yourself, start to follow the event so they see your name in advance. They know who you are. So when you apply, they're like, oh, I remember seeing that name. And you're already not pitching completely cold, but you're known to them a little bit. And you can consider volunteering for their event as well. Every event is always looking for volunteers. So it's another nice way to get to know them, add some value beforehand, and then you can obviously ask them more about how would I go about applying. So you can ask them, you can Google whichever event that you want to apply to. Very often on their website, they already have a link saying apply here to be a speaker. So you can just apply online. In that application, you want to really be clear about the idea you want to share and the gift to the audience. So what's the audience going to take away from that? I have seen so many TEDx applications that are something like, TEDxSwansea would be so honored to have me on their stage because blah, 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 and you just don't read any further. You don't want arrogant people on the stage. You want people who care about sharing value, sharing ideas, not someone who cares about building their personal brand, their credibility further. That's it, really. With regards to applications, do a bit of research, apply to those events that feel most aligned for you and interesting and good quality events. Build that network, be visible, support the event in advance in one way or another. You don't have to volunteer, obviously, but if you support them online, if you watch their videos, comment on their videos that they share on social media, these kind of things, it's supporting the event. It's supporting the previous speakers. It's great for you anyway, because all these talks are always so inspiring. I've never listened to a TEDx talk and not come away seeing myself differently or feeling inspired or empowered or ready to do something different or having a shift in my thinking. They're always so valuable to listen to anyway. So comment and share those, show that support. And then when you apply, your name will be recognized. So you're more likely to get a bit of attention for your application. So how I got on the TEDx stage was I already volunteered for TEDx Lausanne and TEDx Swansea. When TEDx Swansea, that's my hometown, was starting, they knew that I was already working with TEDx Lausanne, and they asked for my insights. What have we learned works really well? How can we support the speakers, build a great event? So I shared my experiences, and I also coached some of their speakers for the first two events as well. So they already knew me, and then I maintained those relationships. And that's what happened in the summer. I was speaking to the curator, and I just happened to mention that I had a TEDx talk that I had been working on, and now I have to apply. And so I'm looking forward to that stage. And at which point he said, no, you don't apply. You speak here. You're part of our event. And he had just had two speakers drop out. So the timing couldn't have been more perfect. So that was my application process. But it was the networking, the supporting the event first that made that possible in that moment. So while you don't need to do it to the extent that I did necessarily, networking, being seen, supporting the event, and maintaining that relationship over time is always going to be helpful. And this is how you would approach anything. As I said, getting on a podcast, you could approach it the same way. Getting published in a business magazine or an industry magazine or a local paper, it's the same kind of process for your PR. So it's a good process to hone and develop and use for yourself for every kind of relationship you want to build in your business anyway. So that's how to get on the TEDx stage. Do your research, have an idea worth sharing, support the event, do your networking, and then apply. And if you follow that process, you'll really increase your chances of being successful as well. But it all does hinge on having that idea worth spreading. My idea worth spreading, no surprise perhaps, is the art of value whispering. The idea that to have an impact in the world, to show up with confidence and make a difference, you don't need to be anyone apart from yourself. You don't need to be loud, because when your whisper is shared consistently, it's enough to make that difference. It's enough to position you as the ideal service provider or support or project leader or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. That consistent whisper is loud enough. So that's really what my talk's going to be about. I won't tell you too much about it. I don't want to give any spoilers for when you actually watch the recording or come to the event live, which would be amazing. If you are coming to the event live, do message me beforehand so we can make a point of meeting up. And if you would like more advice on how to speak with confidence, how to get a talk that's TEDx worthy, we have had some amazing speakers on this show: Chris Lubers, Laura Penn, Damien Gauthier, Trisha Brooke, Guy Ashe, and others as well. And personally, I'm going to be re-listening to the episode with Sarah Gray, who was talking all about how to represent your brand through your clothing choices. So that's my two priorities at the minute: practice my talk and memorize it, find something to wear. So I hope you found that helpful. If you have any further questions, do let me know. Every week in the Dream Clients Club, that's my free community, we have the marketing masterclasses, but there's also a podcast chat where you can come and share your thoughts on this episode. You can ask further questions, you can get involved in that discussion. So do come and join us. You'll find us at melittacampbell.com/club. As I said, it's completely free, and the amount of value and tools and training and support and community and everything is what a lot of coaches charge a lot of money for to be part of each month. But for you in the Dream Clients Club, it's completely free. So I do hope you'll take that opportunity to learn more about value whispering and how you can apply it to your business and start to attract more of your clients, grow your business, grow your impact with ease and authenticity. Because I believe that the way you approach your marketing, your sales, your communications, your conversations, your productivity, everything is personal to you. Who you are, the experience you want to create for yourself and others, that impact that you want to have, the lifestyle that you want to support, everything is personal to you. And so I don't believe that there is one marketing strategy that works for everybody. And I definitely don't believe that you have to be pushy or aggressive to get what you want. And in fact, I think almost the opposite. You can have that quiet impact, that quiet power, build your confidence and build real relationships with people who may or may not become your clients, but they'll be part of your journey regardless. And for me, that's a much more rewarding and enjoyable process to build a business, because I always love the quote from Richard Branson: if it's no longer fun, stop doing it. And I hear so many stories of people who are really falling out of love with their business because they feel overwhelmed or inauthentic in the way that they're trying to bring clients in. And that has to be part of the journey. You have to enjoy that. Otherwise, your client will feel the difference. If you're not being yourself, if you're not being authentic, if you're not leading with value, if you're not enjoying that process, it's not going to work for the long term. So do come to the club and be part of a community who are thinking differently about how we bring in clients and build our business. As I said, you can join us at melittacampbell.com. So I hope to see you there, or maybe even at TEDxSwansea. It's on the 26th of October. I think I forgot to mention that earlier. So maybe see you there. Otherwise, I will see you right here, same place, same time next week. Bye.